thank you for staying to listen. My name's Cherniak, and if you live in Aurora-Oak Ridges-Richmond Hill, I want to be your next Member of Parliament. First, I want to thank Heather for coming, my amazing wife. She's been pregnant through most of the campaign, and I can't believe how much work she's done. She wasn't going to miss today as my communications chair, and I really want to thank Heather for coming. I want to thank my team, Maureen, Enid, Nancy. They've been helping for over a year now. They are separate people, Marge, I assure you. And I also want to welcome Iskander to the team. Thank you very much for your support. And of course, thank you to Marge. Marge is the most important person in this room. None of us would be here if it weren't for Marge. There's nobody that does more for our community, and thank you. You really do exemplify what it means to have community spirit. And community spirit and community service really is the reason why I'm running. I grew up in Richmond Hill. I went to Crosby Heights Public School on the other side of Yonge. I went to Richmond Hill High School, the old buildings just across the street here. After that, I went to the University of Toronto for a degree in Ethics, Society and Law, and I did law school at Dalhousie University in Halifax. After a few years working at a firm downtown, though, I decided I wanted to start my own business. And there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to move to my home, Richmond Hill, because that's where I grew up and that's where I was going to start my business. And I did what many of you in this room have done starting up a business. I took out loans. I started paying expenses. I started looking for new clients. And there were some nights when I wondered if I had made a horrible mistake. But it worked out in the end. And obviously, I have I'm able to support the family, and I'm proud of what I've been able to do with this business. I've trained 2 articling students to be lawyers. One of them still works for me today. And I've argued at all levels of the courts of Ontario up to the Court of Appeal. I've been involved in multi-million-dollar business deals in Ontario. And locally, I've been helping out the David Dunlop Observatory Defenders. Together, we've created a park of about 99 acres in the center of Richmond Hill, and I'm proud of the volunteer legal work that I've done for them. When I started my business, I also got involved in the local Rotary Club, and that's really one of the best things that I've done in my life. To give you one example, just after I joined, there's a man named Bill Harris that started a tree planting program in the Oak Ridges Marine. Unfortunately, Bill passed away shortly after he started the program, but in the following year, I was the community service director, and I was to continue his hard work. I met with Michael White, who's a past president of the Richmond Hill Naturalists. Together, we've planted over 10,000 trees on the Oak Ridges Moraine. About 300 students a year in elementary and high schools across Richmond Hill are part of it. And I love driving up and down Old Colony Road and looking at those trees on the Oak Ridges Corridor Park. It really is a great experience for me. Many of you in this room also know that I'm the chair of the Rotary TV auction. This is my 3rd year doing it. We partner with local organizations, and we raise over $50,000 a year for local charities. I've been on the York Region Alzheimer's Society Golf Tournament Committee, and I'm on the Richmond Hill Chamber of Commerce Government Affairs Committee. I've been very involved in municipal election debates with Marge and Janine and others, and I did that back in 2010 as well. That's not a new thing for me. Something that some of you may appreciate is I recently got a certificate for outstanding volunteer achievement from none other than Costas Menegakis, the Conservative MP I'm going to be running against. But I've got to tell you, I saw Costas at an event, and I thanked him for that certificate. And he was clear. He knew that he was signing it for me. It wasn't a mistake. And Costas and I had a conversation, and what we agree on is that politics is not about personal attacks. It's not mean-spirited. Politics is about good people debating good ideas, proposing them to Canadians, and then the winner being selected in a democratic vote. That's what politics is about at its best, and that's what it is. And that's something that I've learned in over 16 years involved in federal politics. At first, I was just a young Liberal starting up a club in Oak Ridges, but in law school, I joined the Young Liberal National Executive. I made friends across the country. Some of them now are MPPs, MPs. They work in offices in Ottawa, and I'm going to use those connections to help our community if I'm successful as Member of Parliament. I also got involved in 2006 as the president of the Richmond Hill Federal Liberals. As an organization, we did a lot of great things. We doubled the membership of the club. We raised enough money to fight 2 election campaigns. We had lots of open public meetings, barbecues, holiday parties to engage the community in politics as much as possible. When I first became president, there was only 1 woman table officer on our executive. By the time I was done, 60% of the table officers were female. I'm very proud of that. We need to engage Unfortunately, from my point of view, 2011 election rolled around, and you all know what happened. The Liberal Party was decimated across the country. And it was very difficult for people like me. It was almost like having a death in the family. But I decided that I was going to put my head down and work hard for the Liberal Party, because I believe in liberal values. I believe in equality of opportunity. I believe that if you're born into poverty, you shouldn't have to live in poverty your entire life. I believe that we need a public health care system where your money doesn't determine whether you get to the front of the list. We need a clean environment, clean water, and we need to do something about climate change and greenhouse gases. We also need strong businesses to create jobs, and we need fiscal responsibility to pay for the programs that we have. Those are Canadian values. I believe that they're liberal values as well, and when the Liberal Party is at its best, it is the best political party at doing that. So I put my head down, and in Richmond Hill as an organization, we held public events. We called about 3,000 people for our summer barbecue, and the end result after a month, only a month after that election, the Liberal newspaper, the local paper, not the Liberal Party paper, wrote an editorial entitled, "Don't Count the Liberals Out Yet." That was because of our hard local work. I then got elected as the Vice President Communications for the Federal Liberal Party across Ontario, and I brought that organization into the modern communications area. We started a regular newsletter, we started a Facebook page, a Twitter account, and I engaged Canadians across Ontario, Liberals in particular across Ontario, to build up their organizations and get ready for the next election. At the national level, you may have heard of this guy named Justin Trudeau. He's been doing a lot of hard work at the national level for the Liberals. He's opening up the process. It's why we have these elections for the local candidates. And he is engaging Canadians and being honest about a lot of controversial topics. I've known Justin since 2006, and I've really enjoyed getting to know him since then. To give you one story, last February, Heather and I saw him at the Liberal convention, and we told him that we were having a baby. Justin's eyes lit up, and he gave us a piece of advice. He said, "The two of you know everything you need to know to take care of your child, and you are completely unprepared for what's about to happen." I don't know that we were completely unprepared, but you may see the bags under my eyes. Law is a good profession. I've been able to do a lot for the community, and I've enjoyed it. But politics is my passion. I've been immersed in it for 16 years, and I want to take what I've learned and use it to help the people of Aurora-Oak Ridges-Richmond Hill and to help Canadians in general. I want to go to Ottawa and be an honest politician. I'm going to show that integrity and hard work and a community spirit really can make a difference. Today I'm asking for your support. Together, we really can make a difference. Thank you.